Welcome to this BlazeMeter Did You Know session. If you're a BlazeMeter user and your test contains static data, our profiler can identify that data and automatically create the generation rules to create synthetic data. So let me show you. If we go to BlazeMeter, here's our JMeter test, and this test has got some static data in it. Automatically we show you the screen, and you can choose to either use our powerful AI engine or to not use the AI engine to identify what that data is. We're going to use AI. You can see here we've found 18 rows of data, and if we look at each of these, we can see that what is actually inside the file. So the show sample shows you what's inside the file, and then we've got a corresponding generation rule that's been automatically identified. And this works, as you can see here, for names, for things like social security numbers, and also you see the profiler is showing you what we think the data is. So if we look at email addresses, it believes it could be an address or it could be an email address. Now we know this is an email address, so we can just select that. So you can use the suggestion, or you can manually override these and use your own functions to generate data if you need to. Now we click next, and in the data settings you define how much test data you need. So this is a preview screen of what the data will look like. Each time the data is run, we will generate new data. And we can then set if we want 100 rows or 1,000 rows of data. So you then click next, and at this point we've now got the data entity, the model of the data, but what we also need to do is parameterize it. And you can choose to either parameterize the test and make a backup, to parameterize test and not backup, or not to parameterize the test and just create the data entity, in which case you will need to manually edit the JMX. If we scroll down, it then gives you a view of what's going to change. So the reds mean we're going to delete, the greens are additions. And if we scroll down, we'll find one that actually has a parameter in it. And what we'll see is, like this example here, we have the name, Taylor, and that's going to be replaced with a parameter called last name. We click next, and in the summary screen, we're now looking at what the field is, what the original value was, and what we're going to replace it with, what the parameter name is. We click finish. We've now created the updated JMX. We have the backup, so you can go back to the original JMX if you want to. And we've also now got the data model that contains the model of the data we need to generate. So that's the original and that's the new version. Here's our data model. We can modify this now. So if you want to tweak the generation rules, you can come in to do that. And in the data settings, like we saw in the profiler, you can choose how much test data you want to generate. So we've still got the 1,000 here, and also preview what it looks like so you can review how that data is. If we now ran this test, we will now generate that data at the start of the test and use it throughout the test. So as you can see with BlazeMeter, we can use our profiler to identify we have test data in functional, performance and mock services, and then automatically create the generation rules to generate synthetic data as required. So please visit blazemeter.com for more information about BlazeMeter, for blogs, and also BlazeMeter University, where we have lots of free courses.